I did not open my shop through my own merit. My sugar daddy opened the shop for me. It was a wild ride. The experience I got at that point has shaped me completely. I was so sick. She's like, I've decided I'm not going to work for you. Now I guess we talk about how it was running the bakery itself. And honest to God, it was a wild ride. I have never taken that for granted. It has taught me a lot. Here's the thing, I had my shop for exactly 12 months. I think the lessons I learned for those 12 whole months have shaped me as a person, have shaped me career-wise, because I don't think it would be things I'd have thought about. The experience I got at that point has shaped me completely, and I'm very grateful to have done that. Before talking about the assistant, let me tell you, sometimes I think on some days I don't think ahead. Before I found a shop, I remember there was a moment where I had gone like, you know what? I'm not even really sure I want to be a baker for the rest of my life. And look at me now. I'm at the point has come back again where I don't know if I want to be a baker anymore. But I remember there was a point where I was like around March, April, around there, while I was still looking for a bakery place. I remember thinking, so let me go do my MBA. And yeah, it was around March, April. So I went to Choir Catholic Uni. I remember I'd gone to Karen, I think to Galleria to buy something, and then I just decided, let me go to Choir and see if I can apply for my MBA. Long story short, I went and applied for my MBA. From then on, I remember telling my friend, I've decided to do my MBA. After that conversation, I never thought about school again. So now I've opened the bakery, and on Monday while I'm at the shop, my friend calls me, he's like, Seshi, what time are you going to school? I'm like, to do what? He's like, school started a week before. I'm like, what do you mean school started a week before? He's like, yeah, you don't remember enrolling for your MBA? I'm like, well, I do remember, but I don't think school has opened. He's like, yeah, classes have started. I'm like, it's week 1. So, and you know how in uni week 1, basically there's school but classes haven't started. I'm like, see, it's week 1, it's fine if I miss the whole week. He's like, no, this is week 3. School opened middle of August. Like, the first 2 weeks that people technically missed have already happened. We're already in week 3. I'm like, oh, okay, so you mean to tell me classes are starting today? You're heading to school today? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you think you can pick me up? We go to school together? He's like, yeah, I'll pass by, we go to school together. So, like, I hadn't considered my MBA while opening the shop at any point, because when I enrolled for school, I didn't have a shop in mind. If I had realized school is about to start, I would have just gone to school and told them, hey, I can't join the September semester, can I join either the January semester or any other semester the next year? That way I focus on my bakery this sem. And then, like, but now it's too late. School has been okay, it wasn't too late. I would have still deferred, but I didn't think there was another option. So Monday, I went to school. I went to school that day, and then Tuesday, go back to work normal. Now I can wake up in the morning and tell Paul Nimenda job. I've gone to work. Went to work normal. And then one of my suppliers had come to like say congratulations on opening the bakery. And while she was at the store, you know how I said in the previous video how I worked so hard, like I was working day and night, sleeping like 3 or 4 hours to get my bakery up and running. Like, you know how finally it's here, you're starting to like breathe in, breathe out. And now when my supplier is there, she's talking to me, I remember just feeling like, I'm like, what's that feeling? And then as she's talking, she asks me, why is your face like so like pale? And can you see my skin? I'm a black girl. For someone to call a black girl pale, like you must look ashen. So when she said that, I was feeling like something is wrong, something is about to happen, but you know, you don't know what's about to happen. Then I just told her, could could you please check watch the shop for me for just 1 sec, I'm coming. I remember I started puking. Like, I ran to the bathroom and puked. I was so sick for so long, so long. And she was like I would come back to the store. Every time I'd go to the bathroom and come back, I'm even worse than when I went to puke. So she's like, yeah, just close the store and then like go to hospital. By the time, like in a span of 20 minutes, I had gone from fine to you need a hospital. So she helped me close up. I called my mom because my mom was there in the morning. My mom is like, she's not that far, but you just take a cab, go to hospital, and then I'll come. My brother was in school, so my mom called my bro to see if he can come. He's like, he has a class, but he can pass by the shop later. Because, you know, we'd closed thinking I'm going to come back. I remember when I got into a cab, the caretaker for the building is who called me a cab. When the cab guy came, he's like, no, I'm not taking you. I'm like, why? It's just here. He's like, you look like you're dying. I don't want you to die in my car. I'm like, we're literally going to matter. So when he took me to hospital, I remember, you know how when you get to hospital you have, because it's not an emergency, you have to check in. Yeah, the nurses were like, what do you call them? The guys at the reception area. They're like, yeah, just go inside and nurse will attend to you. I remember I had to be put on drip. I was in hospital till like 11 p.m. like just on drip because of how badly I'd puked. And then it happened again. That's day 2 of me opening the shop. And then the next day I'm fine. And then it happened again like a few weeks later. And the doctor I was seeing was like, she doesn't get what's wrong with me. But then when we were talking, she's like, I think you're just fatigued. Like, you know how they ask for your history? And then she's like, yeah, you're definitely fatigued. How can you have worked that hard and not expected your body to like shut down eventually? I was like, well, I've never experienced fatigue before, so how would I know? So yeah, and I think, as I said, running the shop molded me into the business person I am today, because if it wasn't for that experience of fatigue leading me to hospital several times in my first month of running a business, I would never know that fatigue can actually literally kill you. I'd only heard of it, but I didn't think it applied to young people. But I was a 24-year-old going to hospital because of fatigue. So that's day 2. It happened a few more times, the fatigue. And then my doctor told me to stop overworking myself, because I remember there's a time I got sick at home. Like, I'd come from school and then at like midnight I had to wake my parents up to like take me to hospital, because yet again I'm unwell. And that's the day my dad asked me, what's the point of working so hard if you're going to spend all the money you're making in hospitals? Like, take a break, stop overworking yourself. Like, enjoy your money. Don't make money to just make yourself spend it all at hospital. Make money, spend it having fun. Don't just make money spending it in hospital. What's the point? And I think from that day, after he said that, because you know, the night they took me to hospital at like midnight, we got back home at like 4 a.m. I slept. Then when I had my dad like getting ready to leave for work, I just showered quickly, got dressed and went to the bakery so that he can drop me to the bakery. And he was asking me, where are you possibly going? And I'm like, I have to go to the bakery. He's like, for what? For what actual reason? And I'm like, I have orders to get done. And that's when he gave me that talk. And yeah, I still went to the bakery, but I didn't open the doors because it hit me, he's right. So I just went to the bakery, finished the orders I had, and then didn't open the store. So when the orders were picked up, I just went back home and had the day off. What happened to my assistant? This lady, I feel like I'm still salty about her. This lady, I was opening the bakery on Saturday. Oh no, on Sunday. On Saturday, she calls me in the morning. I'm thinking she's calling to confirm like what time she's supposed to be there tomorrow. We're talking on the phone and then she's like, I've decided I'm not going to work for you. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? So she's like, yeah, she doesn't want to work for someone who's younger than her. And I'm like, what does my age have to do with anything? The most important thing, and remember how I said in that video, I had mentioned I needed someone for the front side who eventually, if they're interested, they can be trained to become a baker and help me in the kitchen. So now when I'm doing my interviews, see, that's a question I would ask. Are you just interested in just working in the front, like selling the slices, the chapatis, the samosas, or do you want to like grow and become, like, help me out with baking, so I train you for free? She's like, she wants to like eventually even maybe like have her own place. And I know so many people don't want to train people who assist them because of that fear for they'll take the skill and go. But I'm a firm believer in what's mine is mine and no one can take it away from me. So even if I train someone I'm training to help me out, I believe if I was meant to train her for them to go, that's fine. I will be given, God will give me someone else who's better than them. Like, I'm not a believer in being selfish with my talent or my skill. I believe there's enough room, and what's meant to be mine will always be mine. So I had no problem training her. So she calls me on Saturday and she's like, she doesn't want to work for me because I'm younger than her, and I'm younger than her by far. She's old enough to be my mom. And then that time I was like, this is not new information. It's not like you figured this out today morning. Like, you knew beforehand that I was younger than you. So it was truly not a factor. The age wasn't a factor. So for her to tell me the day before opening that she doesn't want to work for someone younger than her, that's bad manners. I feel like that was just a way to like ruin my time, but it didn't work out. It was successful, and that's why I ended up calling my cousin to come help me out that opening day. So now, since I don't have an assistant, I have to run the bakery by myself, which is also, I guess, what was contributing to me getting sick several times, because the entire September I didn't have someone helping me out. And because I already had like the menu planned out, what will be at the bakery, I'd already put up like chapatis. I don't know how to make chapatis. Even to date, I don't make chapatis. So it's already on the menu, but then it's not being sold. My mom would help me out at home, like make the chapos for me early in the morning, then I come with them to the bakery, or she'd drop them for me. And then at some point our cleaning lady decided she'll start making them for me, then I pay her. So it worked out for that first month. Like, she helped me out for a month, and then like now in October, that's when I found an assistant, and luckily she knew how to bake. So we worked with her for those first 3 months until DEC, and then Christmas time, like, we went our separate ways. And then January of 2016, again I was by myself, and then Feb 2016, through my cousin, I found another assistant. So now the bakery, I used to go to the bakery at like 5 a.m. But yeah, by 6 a.m. I used to be at the bakery, even when I had an assistant, because my plan was, we were on the shop was on like a street, and there was a stage, if this is the building, there was a stage here and there was a stage here. So where my bakery was, I needed to be open. Like, when guys are heading to work, I wanted to be open all the time. Even if I won't have cakes ready, I wanted to have things like small things like not chapati because I don't know how to make them, samosas, mandazis, things guys can buy quickly, like to go to the shop, to go to work, because I had coffee, tea, those were options. So I'd make sure I'm at the bakery like by 6 a.m. so that by 8 a.m, like when I open the doors, even if I'll only sell to 2 people, that's fine. So that at 8, like when we're officially open, at least there's things to buy, because up in that building up was office space. So like now, say people for the office are passing by and they want something, they can just come to a bakery and buy things and go to the office. So I used to be there by between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. and then I'd lock up at 4 because I had to go to school. Now, at the bakery, there was good days and bad days. Good days in the sense of everything we'd make for that day would sell out completely. Like things like chapati by like 2 p.m. there's nothing, samosas, mandazis. Like it was normal for some days to sell out on everything. I remember there'd be days even soda is sold out, and then there'd be days where you wake up, nothing is sold. The whole day maybe you've sold like 2 chapatis, 1 mandazi. Like these days nothing has been sold, and that was tough. I think that was the number one thing that used to disappoint me the most. But at the same time, because my major focus wasn't on those things, it was a bakery, selling cake, taking orders. It didn't affect me as much while running the bakery because orders were still coming through, and a lot. So we were able to like sustain the bakery every single week. And yeah, every month, like I didn't have a month where I didn't pay rent. I didn't have stock, I didn't pay my employee. Everything always ran smoothly. And also, my landlord was so great. I remember even saying pre-COVID, I think in 2019 end of or 2020, I was considering reopening a bakery. And I remember saying, if I actually ever do open the bakery again, my then landlord is the only person I would call because he was such a great landlord. When he found out how early I used to go to the bakery, he ensured like to tell the watchman to be sure like nothing has happened to me. And there'd be days where like Fridays, I'd leave sometimes the bakery at 10 p.m, 1 a.m. My bro, real G, would come pick me up no matter how late I'd leave the bakery. So it was always my landlord would like, he's the owner of the building, he had an office upstairs. He'd find out like I leave so late or come in so early, and he'd make sure like the guards are aware, like to keep the place secure. So he was or is a very great landlord. So yeah, basically that was my experience running the bakery. And as I said, it did shape me as the person I am today, my work ethic. Like it helped me decide things I want to do for my bakery, things I don't want to do. Like those were things I don't think I'd have been able to like figure out if I just stayed a home baker. Well, I wouldn't know. I feel like I wouldn't have figured it out if I had only stayed a home baker. And I'm so grateful I had that experience because it did definitely shape me as a person. I remember while at the shop, that's when I did like majority of my wedding cakes. And also because I had an assistant, I moved from evening program to day program. So my assistant would I'd go to the bakery that early morning, like at 6 a.m, get things ready and then head to school. Then when she'd come, all she had to do is now make chapati and open the bakery. And then when I'm in school, if there's orders to be done, she'd bake them. And all I had to do now was come back from school and decorate the cakes. So it was working very well for us. Like it was a very well balanced system. That's basically all I have about running my bakery. Like for exactly 1 full year. I don't regret it. I enjoyed running a bakery. Like telling people, I've woken up, I've gone to work. Like if I need to meet up with people, like it would be, I'm at the bakery, let me head home, get ready, and then I'll come. Like it was such a proud moment, like having your own baby. Well, having my home bakery is still having my own baby, but there was that pride in telling people I've gone home. Because here's the thing, I feel like people don't respect home bakers time-wise. Because if I was at the bakery and said, please pick up by 5 p.m. because we close at 4 or 5, they'd be there by then. But when they know they're picking from home, if I say please pick up by this time, more often than not, do they not keep time? So yeah, I would definitely say it was a very good experience, and I think that's when I learned like to be firm with my policies. If you haven't watched the video about policies, please, I'll leave it linked in the end screen. Please watch that. And yeah, basically it shaped me business-wise, it shaped me as a human, it shaped me in general. And I'm very grateful to have run it. Funny story, I've just remembered. I remember when I opened the shop, one of my friends had come like to see me, and I remember him telling me that there's a rumor going around that I did not open my shop through my own merit, that my sugar daddy opened the shop for me. And you know what? That's such a funny story, funny comment to give. And when he said that, I remember my first reaction to it was, damn, can you ask like whoever's spreading this rumor around to give me my sugar daddy's number, because your girl needs a car. Because it was such a wild rumor, like I don't get where it came from. Like I can see why some people would discount someone's effort, especially since, because at that point I was 24. Yeah, so I can see how someone can discount someone's effort because they're so young, having like such a huge dream and accomplishing it at that point. But here's the thing, yes, I had opened the shop, but me at 24, I remember I used to see people are 19, people are 20, people are much younger than me and they've accomplished more than me. And I was like, yo, I need to like pull up my pants. What did we used to be told? Pull up your socks. Cause I felt like I was falling behind. My age mates are doing much better. I get now where I am in life. I know there's different, everyone has a different progress. Everyone has their time like to accomplish and achieve things, but then I didn't know then. I was too young to understand it then. But then this wild rumor about my sugar daddy opening a shop for me, I don't know why it's crossed my mind. It was all my own merit, it was all my own hard work. And so that's all for my experience in running a bakery, and I guess I'll see you in the next video talking about why I ended up closing my bakery.